done with.
Dude, you've been done.
I'm still here.
For what? Why? Because you just want to be a asshole.
You're right.
Then why the would you be in this competition? Bone face.
Why do you look 50 and you're 24?
What? What did you say? Go yourself.
Would you rather have the brand new PS5 or a weekend with these three lovely ladies and you can do anything you want with them?
Wait, anything with them?
Like anything.
A whole weekend?
A whole weekend.
Damn, but the PS5 though, like it just.
I know.
Oh, damn, y'all beautiful though, but.
Hold on, what'd you say?
PS5 or us?
Oh,
bro, y'all beautiful, but I had a PlayStation 4 for 4 years, but I need a PS5.
God.
My nigga.
Y'all, so this dude came in my DM yesterday. He was like, "You're pretty, I'm trying to get to know you." He literally sent me $1,000 just to get to know me. And y'all literally sit here and think I'm gonna get to know y'all for free when somebody just paid me $1K for him to get to know me? Be so for real.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
Would you feel comfortable if your father was watching your OnlyFans and subscribing to it?
Probably not, no.
You would not feel comfortable, and I'll tell you why. That's because in your heart of hearts, in your soul, if you still got one, you know it's wrong. That's your work. In my work, if my mother consumed my work, I'd be thankful and pleased that she took an interest in my work and supported my work. If she bought my products, I'd be thankful. If your mother or father bought your products, you'd be disgusted and ashamed because you know what you're doing is wrong and the product of what you're doing is bad.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I got a question for you. Do you have car insurance?
100%. I know where you're
All right.
going.
Do you have homeowners insurance?
100%.
Do you have life insurance?
100%.
Do you have medical insurance?
100%.
Did you get tired of your insurance agent talking about the possibilities of you losing your life and being rewarded? Hold on for a second. I know, but don't be a butt person. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. You have insurances. Although it's a very uncomfortable situation, and life insurance people who sell it tend to be scumbags. They tend to be looked at as scumbags, like, I don't want to have this conversation about me dying, but you surely will die. So you better have the conversation. The reality is, yes, it's a very tough conversation. I have to spend a lot of time talking about it. It's very difficult. However, there needs to be some insurance, and there's no insurance, and so we must talk about it.
He ain't lying.
All up in me at one time. Don't try to make me take all that dick at one time.
Slow and easy.
He said, don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you. I would not rush all this dick up in you at one time. I'm going to take it easy on you. She said, okay, I think I can take it. So he laid down. The nigga rushed all that dick up in her.
Jammed it into there.
Jammed and round.
Like Jam City.
All kind of.
What's up, y'all? It's Cali West. And thank you for tuning in to another episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling this shit. I thanks everybody for tuning in. Not many people in tonight. And whoever dropped off, fuck you. But other than that, I appreciate everybody who's tuning in. With that being said, Ken Davis comes through. He says, what's up, Cali? I appreciate you, G. A real one here. Now, we're going to go straight to the topic because You know, even though I ain't gonna lie, man, the YouTube viewership has been whack. You know what I'm saying? They've been kind of fucking with our numbers and, you know, and they, they're kind of fucking with the alerts. But it's all good because, you know what I'm saying, I'm still going to do what I got to do because if it wasn't for the replay gang, I wouldn't know what to do. You feel me? So even though y'all might not be tuning in right now, I know y'all going to tune in later. So that's all good. So we're going to make this happen. Now, yeah, so we see on the topic that, you know, it says Jamaican teaches white women how to dance like black women. Now, anybody who's tuned in to my show anytime last week probably seen me play that video where a older Jamaican woman is teaching how these women how to twerk and dirty wine. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's really kind of a really funny, good sight to see because what's crazy is, you know, I don't know if it's because, saying, Jamaican women, they, even though they know how to be ladylike, they could get all, they could get all hype. I don't know if it's because she was running like a drill sergeant or what, but man, these white girls is performing like they're sisters. Like, hey, for some white girls, they're doing really, really good. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna even get all to that yet. We're gonna get to that in a moment. But what I do want to do though at this time is just pull up this sister who has a lot to say about, interracial dating, about brothers dating white women and, black women dating white men. Now, my boy Ken Davis says, damn, I actually caught you live at the beginning. I appreciate you. He said, you talking about the algorithm? Yeah. And I'm not gonna complain. Yeah, the algorithm is all fucked up now. YouTube had done changed it all up. Especially the fact that with Trump winning and all that, they done changed up a lot of stuff. So things is not gonna be as easy as it. I wouldn't even say it was easy because it was difficult then, but they're making it harder for even for people who subscribe to even get alerts and stuff like that. It's really kind of a and I just essentially just means that I gotta step my game up as well, not only as a content creator, but maybe even promoting my channel. Maybe I might have to start paying some people. I don't know. But it is going like this. And the truth is that I'm not the only one. I'm not gonna act like, oh, I'm special and I'm the only one who's missing out. The truth is a lot of people, a lot of big names on YouTube are complaining about not receiving their subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Now, Ken Davis says, oh, look what he says. He says, I need to get some batteries for my second computer's remote control because the second computer works fine, but it's just this mouse. So anyway, Ken Davis says, I'm a real one. I'm worth 150 subscribers. Salute. Hey, beat this. That's one subscriber who comes in, at least watches the replay and watches as many videos as possible is more valuable than any 200 subscribers who never watch. Because trust me, there's a lot of people who subscribe, and trust me, there's some people who subscribe to me and they hate watchers. Some of them don't even necessarily like what I want to say, but they want to hear some shit. Some of the people are friends, enemies, frenemies, people who know me from high school, all types of shit. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be me regardless. Ken Davis says you got to keep your head down and keep it up, keep at it, bro. Oh, right on. No, you're right. Hey, it's funny you mentioned that because that's actually one of the reasons why I came on tonight. Because I ain't gonna lie, I seriously consider taking the night off. Go ahead and find some time with a woman. Who got some time. Saying for a little bit of change. I ain't gonna front. Thought about going through that. Maybe even go down to the massage parlor. Maybe get a little. How we do and go to the massage parlor. But I was like I could probably even do that tomorrow night. Damn, I'm starting to sweat. But I could have did that. But the main reason why I didn't is because I'm indebted to my subscribers. I'm indebted to the people who I say I'll tell, hey, if I'm gonna say that I'm gonna come on every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you know. And then sometimes if I could come in, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I can. But I gotta at least make myself, stay true to my commitment. Whether it's, I'm on for an hour, 3 hours, even for 30 minutes. I still got, you got to definitely keep at it. It's like working out or anything else in life. The more and more you keep getting at it, the more and more it's gonna, you pay your dues, the more and more you're gonna earn. And that's one thing about YouTube. One thing I could definitely say is, as much as I hate about the algorithm, they definitely, you definitely get rewarded for it. Keep on plugging in and plugging in and plugging in, So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep my head down. Look, I'm gonna keep my head up when I have to, and keep my head down and focus, no doubt. So I appreciate those words of encouragement, King Davis. I really needed it. Now you also say, see, we could talk our shit because not that many people viewing. Yeah, I might have to fast forward to 15 minutes or something on this thing, but we vibing right now. He says, I understand your content. The Bible talk about it when they want to hear it and when they don't. Facts. And I appreciate you saying that. I do believe that, what I talk about is very personable. And I believe that, people could understand it and people could relate. I don't think I'm going anywhere off the top or an extreme. And I don't think I try to use too much, I don't think I try to use too much scripture. When we can, we can. But, we're here in the righteous fear, which is about, what we know is right in our hearts. You feel me? Not just what's right in our hearts, but just what's right in this world. You feel me? And what we got. I ain't gonna lie, Ken Davis. You probably gonna like this episode because we got a lot to dig deep. A lot of people think that this episode is just about a Jamaican lady teaching white women how to dance, but it's more than that. So whoever's not watching, that's on their ass. But we better have a good time for the next hour or more or less. You dig? Cause check out what this sister got to say.
I want you to hear me out and don't jump and comment just yet. I've noticed that a lot of white women seem to have an easier time getting into relationships, getting engaged, and getting married. Now, hold on, I'm not done talking. Statistics, various newspaper articles, men of various races, especially black men, will have you believing that it's because black women are not desirable, we're not smart, we don't make good partners, which is actually not true. We're the most educated human beings on the planet. We are the beauty standard, despite the fact that media tries to gaslight us and make us think that we are not. And studies have proven that we are actually amazing partners. If you comment right here, you're going to be loud and wrong. Just keep listening. But there's
I gotta just take a step back for a second. You notice that black women, they love to harp on the fact that they're educated. And the truth is, it's not even true. I hate to say this, black woman, but you're not the most educated. You're the most enrolled. I'm just being honest with you. You're not the most educated. You're the most enrolled. Because a lot of the women, yes, black women are going to college more than black men by far. But the truth is, see, what black women fail to bring up when they kind of mention this topic is that even white men are not even going to those colleges as much as they used to. Now, keep in mind, ladies, because there's been a lot of talk this week and last weekend about black men not knowing how to read. But if 75% of black men are raised in single mother homes, wouldn't it be ultimately the mother's fault why the kid doesn't read?
Emotional damage.
But I notice that sisters be harping on the most educated. Yes, but they're the most in debt. They were willing to vote communist ass Kamala Harris, right? A woman who's not even black. Just so, they voted in Joe Biden just to get their school loans, forgiven. Then they were even willing to vote in Kamala Harris in hopes that she will write off the school loans as well, bruh. Get the fuck out of here. And what's sad is, if you look at what Black women are enrolling in, if you look at Asians, when Asians go to college, they don't go to school to learn English. No, they don't go to school to be an English teacher or to be a history teacher. They go to college to be, to basically go into stem cell, to be a doctor, to be a dentist, something that's high earning so they can send money back to their country, or to make their their first generation, parents proud. Okay. So, when these sisters talk about they're the most enrolled, I'm not hating on any sisters going to school, because trust me, it's easy to go to school when you have, all types of grants and loans that are geared towards you being a Black woman versus a Black man getting the scholarships or Pell Grants and certain things for their school loans. And let's just be real. Their Black men are not even focused on when it comes to school. As a matter of fact, if I could find it, I do want to show a clip where a Black educator, a Black man, he discusses it. With that being said, I just wanted to dispel the fact that, Black women are quick to kind of be, praising the fact that they're the most educated in the world. That's a goddamn lie. It's not the world. They're the most educated. And here's the thing, they're the most educated compared to Black men. So you're trying to say, it's not the world, ladies. Black women, you're only 7 to 8% of the population. You are not the most enrolled. Oh my God.
You're a victim. There we go, CSI.
But I kind of believe that's kind of the part of the problem. I think part of the problem is, it's not that Black women are not capable of great things. I would never say that. What I will say is, from the 70s all the way to the 90s, all the way to even to now, with Dr. Umar, we are busy praising Black women for essentially nothing, just for being Black women. Black men, unfortunately, we don't get that. We don't get that credence. We don't get that leeway. For a Black man to mean something, he has to basically essentially do something for his family and his community. Because guess what? When Black men say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna move out to this ghetto ass neighborhood, I'm just gonna take care of my family. Guess what? You're not Black enough if you do that. You're only Black for what you could give, especially to your community. Now, Ken Davis says Black women care about, he said Black women care more about that. Facts. They care more about that, but they're not going to stem cell research. They're not going to science. They're not going to things that could change the infrastructure of their own communities or their finances. Because what? These chicks, what they do is they'll go to college, and then when they get out of college, they'll still want to go get with a dude who still is a baller. Like, we could go on and on and on about that whole dynamic. Now, Ken Davis also says how their education looks to other races and Black men. The truth is, other races of men, especially Black men, don't care about your education, because I have to be honest with you, unless you're like a doctor or a lawyer, I mean, I hate to say this, but unless you're a doctor or a lawyer, or, you went to Harvard and you're like some type of big business exec at Mobil Gas or something like that, or Chevron or something like, I don't know, unless you're like working in a Fortune 500 company, no one's really going to be impressed. And I have to be honest with you, even if you was like a CEO, rich, we all know from Oprah Winfrey, rich women don't always give up their money, especially Black women. If anything, look, the only reason why Oprah Winfrey did not marry Stedman, it's not because she didn't like Stedman. It's not that, I mean, people might say that she might have been, a lesbian, and that could be true too. But that being said, that's neither here nor there. The reason why she didn't marry Stedman is because Stedman was just a placeholder. Unfortunately, Oprah Winfrey probably had high hopes that she would marry, maybe a guy from the, I don't know, from the Epstein community or something, but it never happened. Because unfortunately, with sisters with money, they're never gonna go. They rarely go stoop down and go get a guy. Usually, women who make quick money, like rap stars. Yeah, Rihanna will go get her ASAP Rocky, But usually most women who had to go get it from the mud, like Oprah Winfrey, even though Bill Cosby put her on, hey, she's not gonna go and just give some dude her money, unfortunately. Which men should actually take note of that. Actually, take note, man. Because that man was like an author or a writer or a teacher or something like that. And he had a few mil too. He had a few million himself. He essentially had his, what black women call it, his own money. And guess what? She still wouldn't marry the motherfucker, bro.
You're a victim. Here we go, CSI.
Ken Davis says educated fools. Facts.
There's something very important that a lot of these studies leave out when they try to make it seem like white women are just so much amazingly more easy to be wifed up. One of the reasons why black men tend to veer on the side of snow bunnies is they think it's some kind of status symbol. Although the preferences do not get preferential treatment, they often get treated way worse than they would ever treat a black woman.
Hold up. So you see how she tried to take a shot at white women and then trying to tell her and then double look. Then she basically circled the block and took a shot at black men, right? Because black men, we see it as a sign of, as a status symbol. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, I ain't gonna lie. Her hair looks like it's real. That looks like her natural hair, and I actually like it. The fact that she has her own natural hair. I could tell you she was a little hottie when she was younger. With that being said, she wouldn't be a good example to use, but your sisters, maybe not you. See, here's the thing. I can't direct it to her because if she was here or if she was viewed as, she'll be like, oh, well, I don't have a weave. But most black women wear weaves that look like white women. So why wouldn't a black man having a white woman be a status symbol? I'm not saying that that's why black men necessarily date white women, but just think about it. Think about what you just said yourself. If you claim that black men see dating white women as a status symbol, well, obviously you're trying to be similar to that status symbol if black women are wearing hair like white women. Am I wrong? Mr. O with the info, I appreciate you, bro. As a matter of fact, I think XL Pro sent me something of your video. I might have pulled that up tonight, but XL Pro sent me something that you had posted today. Sometimes I be getting so caught up. Man, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I get so many messages from y'all helping out. Man, I losing track sometimes. But salute. He says, just ask Nene Leakes. Facts. And it's so funny too, because some people don't think that Nene Leakes is a good-looking chick, and she's not. I don't think she's a bad-looking chick, but I noticed that for some reason it's funny that you mentioned Nene Leakes. I mean, it's not funny why you mention Leakes. It makes sense why you mention Nene Leakes, because Nene Leakes, she could go get her hair done. Look, she could get her hair done every week. It's always gonna be blonde. Is that why you brought up Nene Leakes, Mr. O with the info? Because I have not seen Nene Leakes with black hair, brunette, not even like a brown, caramel, nothing. Nene Leakes only has blonde hair every time she get her weave. Like, most sisters, see, here's the thing. Most sisters, they'll go and fuck around and lie. They'll say, well, I don't always have to have it blonde. Sometimes I have it black. Sometimes I have it different colors, right? And okay, fine. Some of these bitches, they try to play it off and have different colors. And sometimes you'll see her rock her little fro and she have little afro puffs one day or something like that, right? He says her and Mary J. Blige. Facts. I've never seen Mary J. Blige. Well, other than in Power, I think in Power she had like her hair red. But still, like you'll never see Mary J. Blige with a ponytail. You'll never see Nene Leakes with a ponytail. And you'll never see any of those two chicks with their hair like a natural color like a black woman. None of them. So I'm like, damn, Nene Leakes, like, You don't want to just be a brunette one day be a redhead, one day be a brunette, one day have some caramel, one day have the Mary J. Blige do something. But them two chicks, Mary J. and Mary J. Man, you know what? And people used to go in on Mary J's weed back in the day too. But MJ and Nene Leakes, they stay getting the brown highlights and the blonde shit all the fucking time. But Nene Leakes especially be rocking her hair with the yellow weave all the time. So, I mean, I don't necessarily think that black men feel having a white woman is a status symbol. There's a little bit more to it than that. But at the same time, maybe there's some truth to that. But if there's some truth to that, wouldn't that be because their black mothers, they kind of see their black mothers idolize these women by dressing like them? But remember, 75% of black men are raised by black women. Mr. O then says, don't forget about Beyonce too. Beyonce, hey, ever since she came out, started doing that country rock shit or whatever that is, Beyonce and never went back black since. Beyonce's new color is blonde. And have y'all noticed that, blonde, I have seen black women wear blonde. I've dated black women who have had blonde weaves in their head. But yo, haven't y'all noticed? And there's an resurgence of that more like, you notice that now more people are wearing the blonde shit now because of Beyonce? Shit, man, that's all facts, Mr. O. Beyonce was a definite one. I would say the Beyonce, hey, I would say Nene Leakes, I would say Beyonce might even be worse than Nene Leakes, even though Nene Leakes been rocking it forever. But Beyonce is probably worse because she has more influence. Now, my boy JJ Diesel, a Cowboy Traveler 79 Smith says, howdy, bro, Cali West in the chat. I appreciate you for tuning in, G. Long time no see. Mr. O with the info says he wanted to be the Becky. Oh, yeah, he says he wanted to be with Becky with the good hair. Hey, it's actually kind of ironic too, right? Isn't it ironic that she mentioned that in a song, but then now, like, 10, 12 years later, now she herself is Becky with the good hair? Like, you see how that work? Like, that's just really, like, the way that, and here's another too. Beyonce is a bird brain anyway, but do you see how they fucking think? That even make any fucking sense. Not even a little bit, bro. Not even a little bit. So bullshit. All of it. It don't, like, for real, Mr. O. That shit don't make no motherfucking sense, G. And then JJ Diesel says blonde wigs or weaves are a sign of a harlot or a prostitute. Sheesh. Hey, you know what? There might be a lot of truth to that. Mr. O with the info says you can't beat them, join them. Right. I mean, all right, read this. If I'm gonna be with a chick, right, and I gotta spend money to have her weave so she could look like a white woman, I might as well get with a white woman and just pay her rent or pay for her car note. Like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Mr. O says that's true. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm not saying I'm a big money man. I'm not saying I'm paying every bitch's car note or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? When I have a few dollars, hey, man, sometimes you just be so surprised. You'd be so surprised you be up in some white woman's cheeks if you got enough money. Maybe we're not all at the level to be doing it like Coach Greg Adams, but hey, beat this. If you jump in that crawler, you'd be surprised. What might holler? For real. Sheesh.
She wanna put that pussy on me, put it on me.
Women who get with black men are doing so out of rebellion because their parents were racist, which I'm about to dive into. And that is the reason why a lot of those relationships fail. It's a statistical fact. They have the highest divorce rate. Now let's dive in. I really think that one of the biggest reasons as far as why that is because white women are willing to ignore the fact that their mate is racist. They are okay with having a relationship where they simply agree to disagree. So, of course, if someone being racist or homophobic or misogynistic is not a deal breaker for you, that's going to increase your opportunities to find a mate. The amount of
Hold up, wait a damn minute. Let's just be honest, yeah. Can we just be honest? Can we be brutally honest? Yo, black women, hey, not all black women, all right, not all black women, but yo, let's just be real. Black women are probably more racist than anybody. Look, I would say nothing's more racist. Look, and Donovan Sharp has said this. So shout out to Donovan Sharp. There's nothing more racist than a white man and a black woman, dog. Yo, black woman, it's crazy because black women, it's like they idolize white women, but then they despise white women at the same time. Not all, but look, enough to have the conversation, bro. Like, and here's another thing too. Another thing I want to point out is, why do black women? See, here's the thing. That's just kind of just to show that black women truly don't care about black men. It's because with all the situation that's going on in the ghetto or what's going on in the community or the black community, how do black women have time to worry about if their man is homophobic and or racist when they're the most racist person in the world? And what's crazy is, even though black women accept homosexuality more than I would think any demographic, what's ironic is, but they're the same ones who will still, with that same tongue, flip it and use it to weaponize against straight black men. Now, what kind of fucking shit is that, bro?
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Yo, man, in the mind of a hamster, bro. JJD does. Oh, damn, there's more. Ken Davis says, let me break it down. Nina used to be above average, but what made her below average is that fucking mouth. When a woman shows signs of a ratchet, black men run the other way to all the others. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. I think one of my problems is, personally, Ken Davis, as I believe sometimes, not even so, yeah, I believe at times I give some women too much credit sometimes. But I must say, Nina Leakes is not a bad looking chick. Like, if I think of a chick who looked like Nina Leakes hollered at me, or she tried to flirt with me, as long as she wasn't acting like Nina Leakes, she would be had no problem. I mean, I think Coach Greg Adams says she's too much of a moose for him or something like that. I don't know if it's because she kind of got a little bit of a big nose, but I mean, you know, hey, women are not perfect. But I honestly believe that she's not a bad looking chick. I'll dig her down. But yeah, her mouth and her ways is definitely one of the reasons why she's always on and off a relationship or whatever have you. But I definitely agree. Like, Nina Leakes not a bad looking chick. Like, but like I said, I do believe that. I believe that I do kind of give women. I don't believe I give women too much credit, but I believe sometimes that I kind of see past the imperfections. Because let's be real, most women are not dime pieces. Most women are not eights, and most women are the shit. Most women are not even sevens, man. Most women are just clean up to look like a 7, you know, with weave and makeup and all that shit and filters. Mr. O in the info, he laughing his laughs off. Hey, man, hey. Shit, we just keeping it real here in the righteous sphere. Then JJ Diesel says, don't forget the purple and bright red wigs, weave, or hair dye. Oh my fucking God, bro. Yo. And you know what's funny? Like, damn, that's another thing I hate too. Especially in black community. Man, the sisters, y'all all weaved up. Shit crazy. My boy Supreme B comes through. He says she is full of shit. Fact, she's full of shit. Hey, definitely she's full of shit, bro.
You ain't lying.
Oh, Mr. O with the info. He said, bitch, Loving versus Virginia happened in 1957. A white male still ain't wife y'all asses up yet. Ooh. Shit.
Emotional damage.
I'm glad you said it. Facts. Like, hey, you want to even go further? Let's go even further, Mr. O with the info. Shit, listening to Drunk History with CGA, he has mentioned several times in his podcast about how the black woman has always had an intimate relationship with the white man ever since the white man has come to this country. Whether we believe that we came on boats or we were the original Indians or whatever, all we know is that when it came to antebellum slavery, the black woman, basically the same ways how the black women have a way with the police officers and the same way with your managers at your job, and how they have their way with, they basically have their way with the teachers at school. Because let's just be real, the topic this week has been this black boys being in school, but let's just be real. When girls are being bad or girls are doing something and picking on the boys and the boys did something, who's getting in trouble? The boys, mainly the black boys. Let's just keep it a buck. I don't know if y'all went to any white schools, but and even if you went to a white school, a black boy was probably more likely to get in trouble than the white kids. As a matter of fact, there's this video that I have to show you. I gotta find that shit tonight, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go through these chats, and once I go through this chats, I'm gonna play this video all the way through. I'm probably not even gonna interrupt it. If we do chop it up and discuss it, I'll probably run it back. But I really want to find this video because, man, this whole little black man can't read shit, I just kind of feel like that's bullshit. I almost kind of feel like, see, I'm going on a tangent, but we're going to find that shit. We're going to find that shit. Let me go through these comments because you know what? Everybody, all y'all boys is tuning in. We ain't got that many people viewing, but, we ain't worried about the views right now. We just, chilling and vibing. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting in my time, paying my dues, y'all. Mr. O said, these old B-dubs and their revisionist history. Facts. And then their revisionist history would be fucking wrong as fuck, too. That'd be the thing, too. It'd be wrong as hell. Because they never really talk about, what they were doing. Mr. Over the info, so yep, they are. JJD's Travelers 79 says, I get the same impression of the bonnet heads too, smelling like dirty, dingy carpet and hot dumpster water. Sheesh. That's because black women don't like to wash their hair often because they know they have to kind of do it a lot. So it's like if they wash their hair, it's gonna like wash out the perm or whatever they did or whatever pressure they hit to their hair. So they don't wash it as much. And I could argue that, but I think the main reason why it'd be stinking is because of the fact that they have a weave on top of their real hair. They don't let their hair breathe. There's a lot of things to it. And also, too, there's even an article, and maybe I could even show you tonight, that shows that, especially when they wear that synthetic hair stuff, sometimes it's not even human hair. Sometimes it's just synthetic plastic hair. And that shit is almost even worse to even put on top of your head. Now, Ken Davis says, now she's an expert on white women. She will try to speak the truth on white women, but will subscribe to the black womanhood community and bend the truth to fit her narrative. Facts. Because guess what? For some reason, this bitch still single. You think she's coming at this as a married black woman? Trust me, I can look at her already and look at her until she's a feminist. Just find how she dressed. Very good looking woman. But, her time came and went. Mr. Over the info says, she's a 57-year-old plastic doll at this point. Probably can't stay out of the sun too long. He's talking about needing leaks. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, of course, she's weaved and BBL'd up. Most of these hoes are. Damn. Okay. 57, huh? I thought she was younger than that. I didn't know that she was. Damn, I didn't know she was fucking 57. Wow. Mr. O says, yep. He says, Mr. O says, I went to both. He said, I went to the most ghettoest black school in Chicago and the whitest school in Iowa. Sheesh. Hell nah. Damn. But yeah, but that's a good thing because you get to see best of both worlds. You get to see the good and the bad. Ken Davis says, let me hit that remix. Back in the slavery times, who do you think black women were being sexually active with while the black slaves were getting their backs and teeth beat in? Oh, facts. And then it was kind of crazy too, is because, yeah, dude, yes, of course. Like, for example, you know how Malcolm X, he kind of gave a speech about how, there was a field slave. He always wanted to run and get away, but it was the house nigga who was like, "Oh no, let's stay. Let's stay. Let's not go." Well, Malcolm X did not tell. And here's the thing: the truth is, that was a movement that they never tried before. That was something that they're trying to do, trying to uplift themselves, right? But there are certain things that Malcolm X was not ready to even talk about, and it was too much to even talk about and too extreme at the time. But the truth is, we all know damn well it would make no sense for men and women to. I'm sure women did with some of the fields, but more than likely, we kind of come on now, common sense. We can tell from the workforce now. They need men to do all the heavy lifting and the hard, laborious work because men are physically built for that. It would be the woman who's doing all the other stuff, like tending to the kids, tending to the house, tending to the food, doing things that women do now. So let's just be real, bro. I just want, let's just keep it a buck. The house ninja was a black woman the whole fucking time, bro. Oh, and guess what? Yeah, who didn't want to look? Who was getting treated better by master? When I say getting treated by master, I'm talking about getting treated by master, just like how it is in the workforce. Trust me, you don't think some of these chicks have slept with their male bosses and their managers? And you kind of wonder why she kind of get her way every time. Why she's just able to call out sick and she don't even get written up. Your ass come in late one time, they're ready to fucking fire your ass. Mr. O says, Ken Davis, what if I told you that the only bed buck and white women was getting a slave snatch? Majority of black males lived and died virgins. Hey, a matter of fact, you know what's crazy that you mentioned that? I mean, if y'all seen 12 Years a Slave, there was basically, here's the thing. From how black people and how historians, or even how, not even really historians, but how they showed on Roots, how they showed us slavery on Roots in some of these movies. Mind you, Roots is a fake ass movie, but when they were showing you on Roots and stuff, they made it seem like, okay, other than the fact that you had to go and like, they try to romanticize slavery to some degree. What they told you was, essentially like the slaves had to work all day, but basically when they didn't have to work all day, they basically kind of had like their own society, which in theory was kind of true. But you think the slaves got to go pick and choose who they're sleeping with? Usually, if they're sleeping with someone, it was because either A, the slave master matched them up together, or B, let's just be real, the buck, the biggest slave, the guy with the biggest muscles, and guy who would produce the strongest offspring, he was the one who was getting most of the women. Shit, hey, as a matter of fact, someone brought up the word motherfucker. Do you know how the word motherfucker came up from? I'm not even gonna go there right now on YouTube. But if y'all just listen to the word motherfucker on the conversation that we're talking about, you can put two and two together. Just think about it. They had people. Yeah. I'm not even gonna go too far. Yeah. But yes. So it's so crazy that, like a person like myself, sometimes I'd be like, damn, I ain't got no poom poom in like a week or two. And sometimes I'm like, damn, I ain't had no poom poom in a long time. But dude, can you imagine? There's people who lived and died and fought in wars and were slaves and got beat and all that. And then it gets to smell one piece of poom poom, one piece of furry ass, nappy ass dugout, bruh. Not one spick of poom poom, bruh. Like, they think they probably couldn't even get hard because They just knew they wasn't getting none anyway, so it was like no point of even getting an erection. He says, Supreme B says, Nene looks nice without a makeup. Google her without pictures. Oh, for real? But damn, Supreme B. Hey, you know what? I told y'all, my boy Supreme B, he was mad. Hey, he really didn't like that black girl from the last time. The one black girl who was talking about buying her a wig for the instead of dinner. He really didn't like her because I would say the girl kind of looks almost better than Nene Leakes. Even though I do believe Nene Leakes is kind of cute. I would bang Nene Leakes. But damn, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know if y'all could agree or disagree with that. But yeah, you really didn't like that bitch. hey, once that bitch was talking crazy, Supreme B was like,
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
Yeah, he had no heart for that bitch. Then we got Ken Davis. He then says the black female slaves were getting raped by the slave master by force, then by her own will. I believe white men and black women forged an alliance. Black women kind of resemble white men. Okay, well, let's dissect that. Boy, we ain't gonna get through this video. Yo, all right. Well, yo, we were taught that they are great. What if I told you that I don't believe that they were great? I don't look. I have to be honest with you. I will probably believe that they were probably great after Emancipation Proclamation. You know, after Juneteenth, there was probably some grapings. I could probably definitely have believed that because at that point it was the poor white men who were probably graping them. But, bruh, when they were on plantation, people call it great because because they're enslaved. They kind of believe that, how can you be enslaved and kind of a consent to that? But the truth is that they weren't being graped in the traditional sense. These were, I wouldn't say that they were volunteers, but they were, I would say, forthcoming participants, is to say that they had no problem facilitating what was going on. When in fact, when it came with perks, and it came to certain perks and certain things like living in Master's house, having access to cool places instead of living in a shack, getting to sleep with Master. Because guess what? Who said they didn't think Master was handsome? Repeat this. You don't have to be a good-looking person to be considered attractive. All you have to do is be the one in charge. Oh boy, you know what? We're going to have to just read these comments and then go back to this video. JJ Diesel says she reminds me of the puppet of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Mr. O with the info. Yeah, she looks like some librarian type shit. But not even a sex librarian, just a librarian. Mr. O with the info says, Supreme B, you could turn Leslie Jones into Naomi Campbell with all that plastic surgery that Nene Leakes got. Sheesh. Damn. Mr. O says, yup. And then he says, don't forget forced breeding. Man, that's another thing too. I think the only time it was probably forced breeding is when we refer to that motherfucker statement. I'm not even gonna get into that motherfucker, but if y'all could y'all righteous for members, y'all some smart cats. I know what I'm talking about. I mean, I guess you could talk about that. You could talk about that, but what if I told you that as much as fucked up as slavery could have been, that that basically the slave master was making deals with a woman that if they produce X amount of kids, that they could get their freedom. What y'all know about that? What do y'all know about y'all can say it's not true, it's a lie, but it is a well-known thing that women were able to get their freedom if they made sure that they, facilitated having a baby. Because it was not it was also, look at this. It was also not uncommon for women who were from tribes or from certain tribes to kill their baby so the baby wouldn't be in bondage. So guess what? To encourage some of these women not to delete the baby or not to get sick and have a miscarriage, that say, hey, you have X amount of kids, you get your freedom. Ken Davis says black women during slavery were attracted to the power of the slave master. Well, look, let's just be real. If you let's just take away the whole slavery situation. Let's just take away from the slavery and the beating and all that, right? And the fact that someone could just take your life. Let's take away that for a second. You see people do the same thing in the workplace. Look, yo, I still remember I had this job, right? Because, you know, my ass done worked a million jobs, you feel me, like a Jamaican. But, yo, I can honestly remember one time, right? I still remember that there was this chick at my job, right? And she looked good. She was like a little mixed looking chick, or maybe she was just a light skinned black girl. I don't know. Long story is, she looked good, right? And that's why, and why I'm going to bring it up, correlates to why Coach Greg Adams always says, don't be cold approaching these hoes. Not that I cold approached her, but the reason why I didn't cold approach her is because, bitch, ain't no way you don't see me in this motherfucker. And you don't say shit to me. You don't even look in my direction. When a woman don't even look in your direction, that's because she don't want you to talk to her, right? Or she don't give a fuck about you, right? And there was a Spanish dude who worked there with me. And I can honestly say that I didn't see her talking to him out the blue or anything like that, or giving him any action either. So we're not going to make this a race issue, okay? But this dude was kind of good at his job, right? And they decided, okay, you know what? This dude, I guess he quit. He quit his job so he could go back to school. So basically, they was like, okay, well, you know what? You're next up to be a supervisor. So mind you, they made a Spanish dude a supervisor, okay? Spanish dude, yeah, because they make him a supervisor, this position paid pretty decent. Like, he basically, like, his income almost like doubled. Either doubled or at least he got like a third extra or something like that. But this is what it is. His money was substantially good enough that he was able to kind of like, you know, because I think he didn't have no car or something like that. But I think, you know, him getting this extra money kind of helped him kind of, you know, get back on his feet, right? You know, so he was on his shit, you know, he was back on his bullshit. And mind you, I still remember the girl came by his desk, and I seen her do this. She left a note at his desk talking about, oh, I came by your desk, but you wasn't here, so just hit me up later or whatever, right? And I'm just sitting here like, what? And mind you, I'm not trying to be, and I ain't no reading rainbow ass ninja, but I'm not saying that he was a bad looking dude, but all right, let's just be real, y'all. You don't have to be a gay ass ninja to know when a dude who probably attracts women and doesn't. Like, I just feel like he wasn't necessarily an ugly dude necessarily. He just I just knew, like, let's put this. Unless, look, the only reason why I feel like she kind of was giving him play was because of the status. She knew he was making more money and he was a motherfucking supervisor. Unfortunately, for a girl to want to get with a subordinate, she gotta really, really be like sexually attracted to you, or you gotta be her superior. Let's just be real. So it goes back to what Ken Davis was saying. He says black women during slavery were attracted to power in the slave master. I would not only do I agree with that, but I'll even double down on that and just say black women are just attracted to men in power, period. And I think that's not necessarily anything bad towards black women. That's just towards, truth be told, that's just women, period. But unfortunately, in the black community, we tend to double and triple down on bullshit. Like, for example, black men in the black community, we usually don't get respect unless we're either A, have something to offer to the community, or B, come from some type of money or status. But if you're an average black brother and you're speaking some shit, he'll probably fall on deaf ears. Because black women are attracted to power of status. Mr. O says it's true. He then says, I knew. And then JJ Diesel says, I doubt it because they act like that to this day at Ken Davis. That's what I'm saying. So that's actually why even though I agree with Ken Davis, I just doubled down on it and just kind of instead of putting it back as slaves, no. They're just attracted to men of authority, man. JJ Diesel, Cowboy Traveler, says the white female slave owners forced male slaves to give it up. Well, there's this movie called Mandingo where they shows this German slave master lady coming to buy slaves, and the white men were kind of laughing because they knew exactly why she was coming for slaves. Oh, trust me. It doesn't happen. I don't know if y'all know this, but do you know that they used to make like special slaves out of Irish women and black men? Do y'all know about that? Ken Davis says, have you ever been ignored by white women? Or did you speak to them and had a good conversation? It all depends. It all depends. I say this much. I say this much. By ratio, this is gonna sound kind of crazy, yo. By ratio, I would say that I have been ignored more by more black women than I have been white women. You know, I'm not saying that. I would honestly say that do black women give me more play than white women? Yes. But white women are pretty court. Look, I don't know what it is. You know, I'm 5'9", 5'10". You know, I guess I guess I ain't too scary. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess in the nighttime they can still see me or something. I don't know. But I usually get okay conversation with them as far as conversation goes. You know, to be honest with you, I feel like Peters, I truly believe that if I actually had more money, you know, that's why I need to boss up, ninja. You feel me? Get my chicken bag up. I honestly believe that if I had a little bit more money, I'd probably get way more white women, way better white women too. Way better women, period. But I feel like I think the only thing I'm missing is the money. That's the only thing I'm missing is the money. Now, Deaf God Chronicles, DGC, he says, what's up, Cali West? I appreciate you for tuning in, G. Ken Davis says, all my disappointments came from black women. Unfortunately, yes. Like, I don't know. And that's so true. I mean, look, white women could be very disappointing too. Look, all women could be disappointing, but unfortunately, you know, the ones who are closest to you is probably going to do you the worst because, you know, we sometimes believe that, oh, you know, because she's black, she's not going to do this, or because she's black, she's not going to do that. But shit, a black woman will cheat on you with a white man faster than your head could turn, bro. I mean, I guess anybody could cheat, but, you know, his thing was, I just kind of believe when she said that black men feel that when white women are status symbol, she's deflecting from the truth that white women is black women who put you know, white woman as a white man as a status symbol. Then GGC says Deaf God Chronicle says at Ken Davis never. Then JJ Diesel says honestly all the above for all races of women in the country. In my experience, I even get Facebook friends requests from women of all races, even female celebrities. No kidding, no lie. At Ken Davis. Then Deaf God Chronicle says Ken Davis never. Most of my conversations with white women have always been pleasant. Right. Like, dude, like that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist, but white people don't just be going around just being racist. You'd be so surprised. I can honestly say that if I was just to depend on black people, man, I'd be a broke ass wig split motherfucker. I ain't saying that ain't no black people who haven't helped me out because there have been black people that helped me out too. But if let's just put it like this. If I solely depend on black people, I'd be a wig split motherfucker, bro. Straight up. Ken Davis says that happened to me. My ex left me for a white man. It happens. It happens. Yo, it's so crazy because I think my first culture shock was in high school. Well, after high school. My high school sweetheart basically dropped me for a Spanish dude. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I was even taller than the Spanish dude. Like, you know, I'm not gonna say the Spanish dude was necessarily, I mean, I mean, I guess in his defense, it's not like, I mean, I guess he did kind of get girls, but it was just like, you would just think, oh, just because you're black, you ain't gonna lose your chick to fucking someone to another race. Shit. White boy, Spanish boy, anybody could still take your bitch. I mean, the way I look at it, anybody could take your bitch, she ain't your bitch. Ken Davis said she was pregnant when she left. With who? She wasn't pregnant with your baby. JJ Diesel says, I used to have a crush on a female wrestler, Miss Texas. I got an autograph from her when I was in junior high at the end of the day after a wrestling match. All right. Damn. That's crazy. But yeah, man. So Ken Davis, was she pregnant with your child or was she pregnant with his child? Or do you even know? Damn, that's a fucking cold ass thing. But yo, all right. It's been an hour and we barely went over this one video because he says, that traumatized me. Oh, damn, man. I'm sorry to hear that, G. Man, yeah, man. That's wicked, man. That's real wicked. That's real wicked. That is real wicked, bro. And that's another thing too, man. They want to say men this, men that. Black men don't care about our kids. Black men don't do that. But but the truth is that, man, we care more about our kids than they do. Because if they truly cared about their kids, there's no way in the world they could make put their kids through the child support system like that. Now, or even on those mental meds that they be trying to get so they can get extra money. Then Deaf Guy Chronicles says, totally unique situation. A black woman rejects me because I was actually deaf. She thought I was lying until she wanted me to prove it over the phone. Long story short. I mean, like, why would you joke about that? Like, that's a goofy bitch. Like, she actually did you a favor. Like, what I realized? Every disappointment is for a greater appointment, G. Like, I don't want to deal with no goofy ass motherfuckers, because why the fuck would I lie about that? Like, these bitches are fucking dumb. Not all bitches, but these bitches be dumb. Now, JJD says, sorry I went through that at Ken Davis. Yeah, man, me too, man. I ain't gonna front. I done had a chick delete. I had a chick basically tell me she was pregnant by me and she was gonna get rid of it. And she told me about it too. Like, damn, bitch, you a bold ass bitch. Like, why would you even tell me that? Like, if you were gonna get rid of it anyway, you might as well just keep that shit to yourself, bitch. But yeah, man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Ken Davis says women think men don't hurt. Hey, Ken Davis, I'm gonna just say this much right now. I hate to correct you on that. Women don't care that men don't hurt, man. That's what hurts even worse. The fact that they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about their own feelings. Like, here's the thing. Women, to some degree, don't even care about what other women feel. When if it all comes down to how they feel over how another woman feels, like, for example, if she knows that another woman has a husband and wife, but she could take that dude, like, let's say she has the idea that she could take that dude, she don't give a fuck. They're really, truly selfish. The only reason why they even protect each other is only because they want to use them for protection later on. But if women were truly loyal to women, they wouldn't sleep with other women's men. Whew. Ken Davis said, I didn't listen to my mother. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. It'd be like, look, hey, every disappointment is for a greater appointment, G. We all gotta learn, man. JJ Diesel says, I got the impression that most women don't care if we hurt or not at Ken Davis. And he says, right, they don't care. Yeah, they don't care. See, here's the thing. Do I hate women for not caring? No. But I think once, Coach Greg Adams, he was talking about this today in his afternoon show. He was like, once you understand women, you don't even hate them anymore. Like, you don't even hate them anymore. You just know how to move with them. You just know, not to put too much stock into them. Like, we're the X. We're the constant. They're the variable. They're the Y. They're the variable. When we always keep it 100, they want to be 150. They want to be 50%. They want to be 25%. They want to be 80%. They don't even want to go. Like, That's why what's ironic is all misogyny and equal rights goes out the window when it comes time for a hostage situation, when there's a fire in the building. You know, that's when they're not looking for a female fire chief or a female fire department to come save them and drag them out of the building. No, they want men. They want strong men, right? Mind you, the same men who they wouldn't even talk to. A man who's 5'6", 5'7", who works at a fire department, guess what? She probably wouldn't want to date him on the strength if she didn't know that he was a fireman. But guess what? She would want him to go save him out of a burning fucking building, though, right? Now, JJ Diesel says you can catch a woman red-handed doing you wrong, and she will try to justify her wrongdoing. At that point, it's time to break up with her. Then JJ Diesel says, once a cheater, always a cheater. Facts. Now, with that being said, man, we're going to go back to play this video. It's been an hour. I'm going to play this video all the way through. It's only like a 3-4 minute video. Let's play this video. I'm going to go back to the chat. I love y'all boys. And I love y'all ladies for tuning in, too. So let's see what else you got to say about the brotherhood. As a matter of fact, yeah. Oh, shit, this is a 5-minute video. Let me play it.
White women that I have worked with in various places who have shared stories about how racist their husbands are. I remember one lady said that her husband told her if her kids ever married a black person, he would disown them, and she was laughing about it, saying she would just have to sneak around and see her kids because she wouldn't want to miss out on her grandkids. And that's not to say that black women and women of other races don't date people who are racist, homophobic, or misogynistic. It's just that for white women, for the most part, it's definitely not a deal breaker. They don't even give it a second thought. It's like, oh my gosh, Brad is so amazing. He's everything I've ever asked for in a man. I mean, he fucking hates black people, but you know, it's okay. But joke's on them, because men who are racist, homophobic, misogynistic tend to be the worst partners. Because on the flip side of the stories I've heard of white women bragging that their men are hateful human beings, they also share stories about how their men are hateful towards them. The men were either abusive, the men were either unattentive, all of those things, cheaters, just terrible human beings. Hearing about how they've ignored their anniversary and how they're not romantic, how they scream and yell at them, put hands and feet on them, how they treat people who don't look like them is also what they feel about you too. They are with you because you're going to serve a purpose for them, Linda. You're going to have those children that are going to make him look like an award-winning father when he goes to work. You are going to be his little personal assistant that's going to skyrocket his business to where he wants to be. You're going to do all the work while he gets to be the face of the business, and you get no pay, and your name isn't on a damn thing. In almost all of those relationships, the woman's only purpose is to make the man's life better. If white women are smart, and that's been proven to only be 50% true, as we've seen in the exit polls that I keep a copy of, lest I ever forget. Brad might appear to be amazing, but if he is a hateful human in any way, Brad is in fact not amazing. I don't care if Brad is from a wealthy family and you're overlooking it because you think that you are going to benefit from it in some way. If they have a lot of money, you will now be their property. It's like, I'm sure if their family could, they would own slaves. And I'm 100% sure that their family did own slaves in the past, and that's how they built their wealth. But Sarah, what you don't understand is Brad thinks he owns you too.
Bruh. Yo.
This is a sick Negro.
Hey, you know she done swirled, right? Hey, yeah, I know she done swirled, right?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Oh. Who are these niggas?
I cried laughing when I read it.
You know what I'm saying? like, we need to stay away from these niggas.
Bruh. This chick, bruh. Yo, do you notice that she was talking and then she was like, out of nowhere, like, well, first off, hey, one thing I do, and I ain't gonna front, you know, I ain't gonna lie, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I do on here, like going off the cusp. You know, that's something that Coach Greg Adams does. Well, he has an organized show, you know, it's more organized and set and streamed. I just kind of go on freestyle and just talk my shit. You know, sometimes I just be caught up in my words and I just, maybe ramble too sometimes, but, you know, it comes from the heart. You feel me? But do you notice that her video was 5 minutes long, y'all? 5 minutes long. But mind you, it was a lot of jump cuts for a 5-minute video. So and mind you, even before the jump cuts, like she'll be talking and all of a sudden she'll just get out loud and get all upset, all in her feelings. Dude, look at this bitch. This bitch is a fucking crazy bitch there. Look at her, bro. This bitch is insane.
This is a sick Negro.
And you know what's crazy? She was harping on racism, right? But yo, you know who was the biggest racist? Was her. She was the racist, bruh. She's a racist.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Because she said most white people, parents or people's ancestors owned slaves. Do you know only less than 20% of white people who are even around in America now have descendants who are even alive? Look, we're not even going to talk about how many of their descendants were slave owners. Do you know only 20% of the white people here now have descendants from back in the day, in the slavery days? Now, out of those people, how many, like, I don't know the number, but guess what? Even less of them, probably down to maybe less than 1% of them, actually have family members who are rich enough to own slaves, bro. And you know what? And another ignorant thing about black people is that black people, let's stop thinking that all white people have money. Not all white people have money. You know, I understand, like, you know, we kind of say like, oh, you know, when people want to say, oh, we want to live in a white neighborhood or some shit like that, we kind of know what you're kind of talking about, right? But let's just be real. Let's just cut this. All white people got fucking money, dude. Not all white people have goddamn money, okay? Look, you know why white people don't care about black people's issues? I'm going to tell y'all why. Other than the fact that they don't really care, but they have their own fucking problems too. There's a lot of people in middle America where they haven't even seen a black person in days, okay? And guess what? He still can't fucking pay his fucking rent. He still can't fucking pay his bills. You think you guys sometimes be worried about you and your fucking situation, bro? And you and your fucking crazy bug-eyed looking ass? Look at this bitch. This bitch is psycho, bro. And you know what's so afraid to? Beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. But she should have cashed in her chips 20 years ago with all them freckles. But see, she done tried it all. And guess what? Some white man done hit that bottom.
All up in me at one time. Don't try to make me take all that dick at one time.
Slow and easy.
He said, don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you. I would not rush all this dick up in you at one time. I'm going to take it easy on you. She said, okay, I think I can take it. So he laid down. The nigga rushed all of that dick up in her.
Jammed it into there.
Jammed and round.
Like Jam City.
All kind of.
Let me see what this comment section got to say. Because there's a video, because, you know, a lot of people have been putting on black people, and I kind of feel like only black, see, only black men are gonna come to the defense of other black boys. And I wish I had the original video of the lady talk about how black boys don't know how to read. I might even have to pull up Antoine Daniels' video, who actually shows it in the beginning, just so y'all can see that video, because there's a lot of fucking fallacies and shit. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read this comment section. And then I'm gonna pull up Antoine's video, and then we're gonna go segue to this. Man, we're gonna be here all fucking night. You know what I'm saying? Hey, these those slot machines could wait, bro. And slot machines still want their money. If they want their money, they're gonna make them slot machines better make sure they are fucking awake. How about that? Let's see here. Because now I want to pull up that video. Now I want to pull up that video with Antoine Daniels that he was showing at the beginning. And I wish I would have downloaded it myself. But all right. In between the time, I'm gonna go and go to this chat. Because I know I done messed. That's a lot. He says, you can catch a woman red-handed. Okay, you know what? How about we get this chick off the screen? This bitch psycho. You can catch a woman red-handed doing you wrong, and she will try to justify her wrongdoing. At that point, it's time to break up with her. Well, yeah. They usually hand us the keys to cut them off. And I even say this. I mean, I'm not the first one to say this. Shit, Coach Greg Adams might even mention this too. But it's a known fact. I mean, if anyone looks into a relationship, it's a known fact. But even if you broke up with a girl, she usually handed you decisions to break up the relationship. Not many times do men just break up with a chick because, you know what, man, I'm just kind of bored of her. Like, you know, rarely does she just do the right thing and you dump a bitch. Even if you don't, be this, a dude will probably even go cheat on a bitch. As long as she just keep on doing what she was doing before, he will still stay with her. You know, men like crazy like that. JJ Diesel says, once a cheat, always a cheat. I read that before. Oh. Ken Davis says, my mother told me to leave that girl alone, and she said her and her mom love white people. Oh yeah. Oh, hell yeah. My mom grew up with her mom. My mom told me that my girl's mom was sleeping with her father for money. Ooh. Well, hey, but that's crazy though. But hey, yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's why I like fucking with the Coach Gang. Coach Greg Adams, he be speaking some facts, and he just be talking about some everyday shit. Like, it's everyday shit, but it's deeper than you think, right? Because he mentioned the fact that, like for example, my point was, he mentioned the fact that we need to allow women to talk. The best thing that we could do is let a woman talk. If a woman want to tell you that, you know, if a woman tells you, yeah, let's just say you're chilling with a chick and you're like, you know, let's just say you're trying to talk about sex, because let's just be real. That's how you kind of get to talk about fucking, right? Sex might come up, a conversation about sex might come up, right? And she might bring up getting a train ran on her. And before you be a goofy and shame her saying, you know, oh, why you gonna let it, you know what I'm saying, man, let a train get run on you, or why you gonna let them do that? Just let them talk. Sometimes we don't let women be who they are. And a lot of times women don't really say what they want to say because we feel like we're going to judge them. And guess what? Damn right we're going to judge them. But guess what? They don't always have to know that you're judging them. Here's the thing. Man, we tend to react, right? Instead of being constructive or just, you know, we just have just a reaction, right? And the reaction be like, oh, you know, shaming her. No. Let her tell you everything that she needs to know. That way, you know what I'm saying, she lets you know she's a 304, you can just stop fucking with her. She lets you know she's a 304, just stop fucking with her. Or if you want to fuck with her, just keep the condom on, you know. But for example, with that being said, if you kind of hear a woman kind of patronizing white guys and stuff like that. Like for example, you know what's kind of ironic? What's ironic, Ken Davis, is that I can honestly relate. I could totally relate to that situation because the same bitch who said she was gonna fucking get rid of my baby, she was into Spanish guys. She mentioned it before. She mentioned it, but you know, I didn't really think nothing of it. I just kind of thought like, oh, like okay, well, like you know, I just kind of thought like, okay, well, I'm just better than than the Spanish dudes. But in reality, if that's what a chick wants, if a chick can't tell you what she wants, even if she's fucking you, just know what it is, you know. So it's a lesson learned. I could totally empathize with you in that situation, bro. Mr. O says I don't listen to women with clothes nor women. He said I don't listen to women with clothes nor women over 35. Facts. Ain't no reason to. It don't pay. If anything, it may subtract. Deaf Guy Chronicle says she all over the place. She lost me. Yeah. Hey, facts. Because I didn't know she was first. See, she was talking about. See, the truth is, she just had smoke for everybody. That's all she did. All she did was just unload the clip, Deaf Guy Chronicles. That's all she did. All she did was she had a problem with the white women who are getting with black men. She had a problem with the white women who kept their relationships with white men. She was mad at black men for venturing out with being with black women. For venturing out and being with white women. She was definitely just mad at the world. And yes, she was definitely all over the place. Ken Davis said she looked like that crazy bitch in that thin line between love and hate. Facts. Now, Mr. O with info says, I just did a live on Black Chicago woman married the bottom shelf Brad and mad that she's having his son instead of her daughter. Oh, shit. Oh, I thought the daughter was having a kid. Man, these motherfuckers are sick. Mr. O with the info says, thank you. He says, then JJ Diesel says they have their own problems, but God Almighty, y'all is still judging the wicked country, even as I type. I mean, yeah, but I mean, you're supposed to punish the ones who are guilty, right? I don't know. I mean, that's a whole nother discussion in itself, and that's too unpacked. I need to get through. My limit tonight, y'all, is 2 hours, bro. I ain't gonna be here all night, even though I really feel like doing it, but I know I'm gonna be tired. I know I'm gonna regret it in the morning. JJ Diesel says, thanks, I appreciate that. JJ Diesel says, yes, brother, you're welcome. Hold your head up at my friend at Ken Davis. Then Mr. O with info says, no, you gotta drive her crazy. Right. He said she'll definitely reap what she has sown. She will not go unpunished. I had exes to go. I have had guesses get back in my life, but I rejected them like bad produce at Ken Davis. Then he says, you gotta get up before a woman to catch her in her shit. Yeah, you definitely gotta be 2 steps ahead. Like, and I think it happens with experience, and it happens when men like us talk about things like this online, And guess what? By no means am I complaining about women. I have no problem with getting women. Look, if I really want to, I can sit down here on an app or on these apps, put a little bit of money on these apps, and I can go get some trim from a chick my age, like so. I could go to my job and probably get with some chicks my age, like so. But guess what? That's gonna come with headache and drama, So guess what? I'm just better off just, keeping this shit away from my job, keeping this shit away from my home. You feel me? Just have some time and stuff like that. You feel me? Have a little time and then go back to my crib. To be honest, I like when chicks either got their own crib or they're bound to go somewhere else. Now, JJ Dito says, oh, but yeah, but I mean, at that point, I kind of feel like at this point in time, y'all, unless you're willing to really manage a woman like she's your boss, like she's your subordinate at your job or your secretary, I think the best relationship is no relationship, y'all. Straight up. Now he says now JJ Dito says the system uses feminism to weaponize women against us men. That's in the Bible. The Bible is true. But guess what? They slow dripped and did that since the 60s, bro. As a matter of fact, see, here's the thing. See, a lot of people don't understand that. Like, for example, JFK or anybody, they didn't have to give black, like, for example, Malcolm X said this before JFK got assassinated and all that. Malcolm X said that we didn't need civil rights bill. He said we did not. He said black people did not need a civil rights bill. Why? He said we don't need a civil rights bill. He said the government just needs to uphold the laws that they already put in place in like 1954, 1956. Because there were already civil rights laws on the books. But guess what? The federal government never forced the state to enforce them. You feel me? The reason why I bring that up is because it kind of goes back to back in the day when black people were still fighting for civil rights. They were already having social workers come to black women's houses telling them about how they could get on a welfare program. Even though welfare wasn't really legally for them yet, they were still introducing pilot programs to get welfare from the state just so they could get a taste against some money without a man. And of course, the main thing that they had to do was get rid of the man to get the stipend, aka the welfare, before even welfare even started. Welfare goes back even way back, because guess what? They knew eventually they were gonna give black people rights, and guess what? Martin Luther King is once known for saying that he marched his people into a burning house. Ken Davis says JJ Diesel says she had the nerve to ask me when can we start older, and I said. He said, bitch, please.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
He said, I hope God Almighty Yah bless me with a truly virtuous Mexican woman. I gave up on the B-dubs because they act demonic chaos goblins. Sheesh. You know, I have to say this much, man. There's always trade-offs. It's not that there are not any good black women. Truth is, if there aren't any good black women, they're already taken. And guess what? Nothing's wrong with expanding your horizons and getting you a Mexican woman if she's truly virtuous. But I'm going to be honest with you, Cowboy Diesel, you might have to get her young. Like, hey, Mexican culture, they start off pretty early. There's a reason why they have a quinceañera, man. Especially the fact that you want a Mexican woman. You didn't say like a Dominican or Puerto Rican. Yo, a Mexican woman is a quinceañera for a reason, bro. I'm not telling you to go get a chick out there at quinceañera. What I'm saying is by the time she's legal age for you to deal with her, just know that cherry might have already been popped, G. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. Mr. Over the Info said, nah, she's pregnant by Brad. She wanted a daughter instead of a son. Oh, fuck that bitch. She's goofy. That's the thing about life. You don't get to pick what you have. A child is a blessing. Now, Ken Davis said she ended up losing my baby. Had a baby with this white motherfucker. Didn't stay with him 8 months. Got a restraining order on him. Her son is a closet asthmatic. Hey, that's what she chose. Hey, see, maybe that's her karma. That's her karma right there. Like she finally was blessed with a child, but now the child got a little bit of problems. Sad. No football for him. Now, JJ Diesel says you did the right thing because this is unclean to you. That's in the Bible. That's why I said a cheater is always a cheater at Ken Davis. Then he also says I was working, and Ken Davis says I was working 2 jobs when she started visiting the white dude at his job. Hey, I have to keep it 100, GG. That's usually what happens. Usually, hey, I ain't gonna front, bro. That's why I say almost the best relationship, especially when you're on the grind and you're trying to either rebuild or you're trying to build. Ken Davis, you sound like a young man. I don't know how old you are, but I'll just say this much. Usually, when we're a man and we're on our path, if we got a real one, she's going to, stick around whether you got 2, 3 jobs. But if she's a flaky bitch, yeah, usually when you're on your purpose, like you're going to go to school or you're going to go work 2 jobs, yeah, she's going to fall off. And but that's because it was going to fall off anyway, so salute you for at least going to get your money, G. JJ Diesel says the song, The Guess Who, the American Woman comes to mind. Facts. He says Latina woman. Then Kevin says Mexican women are taught to serve their husbands. Yeah, man, but unless y'all get look, here's my only thing too. Unless y'all go get some Mexican, authentic Mexican woman, and then learn. Look, y'all boys, y'all talk about y'all want some Mexican women. Y'all better get up on your Spanish, and then get your Spanish, and then somehow be able to kind of help support their family. Because that's the thing about Spanish families too. Don't think you're just gonna take the torta or take this virtuous Latino chick and you're just gonna ride off in the sunset. Nah, you're gonna have to kind of be grounded and kind of show and prove. Just think about that. Just think about that, y'all. Now, Ken Davis says, when the cat's away, the mice will play. Facts. And you know what? Like I said, she did you a favor, man. Like, I know it doesn't seem like that up front, but she did you a favor. And I mean, not saying that I believe in deleting kids, because kids are innocent. But at the same time, there's a possibility that she would have had that kid, your kid. She would have had your kid, and you still would have been able to see him. So, you know what? Sometimes you got to let the lame dogs lie, G. Now, with that being said, I want to show y'all this video with Antoine Daniels. I'm not gonna play his video. I'm gonna play his video, but I'm just gonna play the part where it shows the part that they'll talk about the kids not going to school. Cause that shit, I ain't gonna lie, that shit kind of bother me. That shit kind of bother my soul today, just hearing about that shit. You feel me? That shit really, really, really bothered my soul, man. So, shout out to Antoine Daniels. We're gonna use some of your video, but that shit just kind of pissed me off. Like, damn, like they really gonna talk about like black kids don't know how to read. Like, I'm quite sure that there are some black kids that don't know how to read, but I, to be honest with you, the reason why I can't believe this bullshit about black kids don't know how to read, the reason why I don't really believe that is because I believe. Look, here's the thing. I believe that most kids, even black kids, kind of know how to read. Look, they might not read well, but to play these video games, you'll probably almost learn how to read by playing these video games and stuff like that. There's no way that these kids completely don't know how to fucking read. Like they probably don't speak well, they probably don't read well, and probably don't write well. But there's no way there is a fucking. You cannot convince me in 2025 there's people out here completely illiterate. I mean, not illiterate, but yeah, you cannot convince me that people are completely illiterate. Maybe they don't read that good, but they just all around just walking around here fucking let's not know how to read. Nah, man. I can't believe that's kind of BS. I don't know. What y'all think, y'all? What y'all think, Righteous Fear Gang? JJ Diesel says the laws of reaping and sowing are real. One of my exes cheated on me and caught the clap. 10 years later, he was married to another man. She passed away. Woo, so sad, so sad. Well, I just say this much too. Either the laws of reaping and sowing, or if it just, if someone just keeps on doing something, like, for example, it's like you might be good at robbing banks, right? But guess what? No matter how good you are at robbing banks, eventually you're gonna get caught, because the chances of you getting caught are probably not only are they already high, but the chances of you getting caught increases the fact that you have not been getting caught either. Because at this point they know they have a random, bank robber on his way, and they're gonna try to make it a way, no matter what, to go catch your ass. So yeah, man, that's what I guess that's a form of karma. But maybe it was just the fact that you don't get it, the fact that she was already doing some shady shit. Like, the fact is, promiscuous behavior, like cheating on you. I mean, if you're cheating on somebody, that basically means that you're willing to have sex with two men at the same time, or even within the same time frame. That says a lot about her and how she handled herself. So it doesn't make any sense that she did not end up getting sick and dying. Now, Ken Davis says, I told this story to this guy, and he said your life will go on and return to normal. Facts, man. Yeah, man. Like, man, you can't let. Man, here's the thing: once you kind of realize who they are and what they are, you can never switch it. Especially at the age of 54. I think he said, "I'm an OG, 54. This happened when I was younger." Oh, okay, no doubt. I mean, we talk about our old tales because guess what? It shaped. Our past shapes us to who we are. JJ Deal says before she passed away, she told me she wished she could have a good man. I told her it's too late for that. That's the last conversation we had before she passed away. At Ken Davis. Hey, you gotta keep it. Hey, you gotta keep it 100. It is what it is. You know what? Hey, she's gonna have to accept that brutal honesty. Well, at this point, you know. Well, she had to accept it. That is. So check this video out right here. But it can't read stuff. Nonsense.
Including women, about whether there's been conversations about, and let me close out some of these browsers or whatever to other parts of the conversation.
Oh, okay.
So let's go ahead and dig into it, y'all. This is a woman that was, well, she'll explain to you exactly who she is and why we're having this conversation.
So I just left out of an elementary school doing some observations for a client that we work with. And let me just say this. If we don't save our Black boys, if we don't step up as a community and come to the rescue of our Black boys, we are going to see that gap continue to widen between Black boys who pursue education and skilled labor and Black boys who are illiterate or end up in jail, in the streets. That number is going to continue to grow. And that gap is going to continue to widen between Black girls and Black boys. I watched and observed the Black girls versus the Black boys in this classroom. And this is a very mixed classroom. White kids, Black kids, a few Hispanic kids. I think I saw like one Asian kid, but a mixed classroom. And the boys just couldn't sit down. They was up, they was being loud, they was having quiet time. The teacher was trying to redirect them. I don't think she was doing enough. And you just tell that they need more support. They need more structure. And I know that starts at home. But unfortunately, all of our Black boys are not in a good home. So where's the village? When does the village kick in? I couldn't help myself. I was there doing observations for a client, and my observations hadn't started yet. They didn't start until about 15 more minutes, and they were doing like some math worksheets in their groups, and I couldn't help it. I called the two little Black boys over there to me, sat them down. What y'all doing? Let's figure this math out. Showed them the math. They were like, oh, that's how you do it. I'm like, well, that's how I learned to do it. This is how your teacher's teaching you how to do it, which that's a whole nother topic of why are they teaching these kids this new math concept using these boxes? That's confusing. It was confusing to me. And I just literally breaking it down to me and I was confused. But that's a whole nother topic. What are we going to do for our boys? I literally just saw it again. I already knew this because I've been in education now literally all my life. Since I was a little girl, I was tutoring after school. But what are we going to do? Y'all, they need us. And even in just that moment, I was able to redirect them, get them to sit down and listen to me, get them to stop running around the classroom. And they came back and said, thank you. Thank you for helping me. And then they ran on out the door, being loud down the hallway. I don't know what it was just in that moment when they saw me, but I was like, come here and let's do this math. I was just real firm and direct with them. I can understand their teacher might be frustrated and that might not be her approach, but I'm not even putting it in the hands of them no more. It's on the community. If we got to start our own centers and our own spaces, I offer virtual tutoring. So if you see this message and your child is struggling with math, reading, science, social studies. Now with math, I can't do calculus. I can probably stop at like A, B. It gets a little, it gets a little tinkery with me there. But I can do really good with math, science. I have tutored many kids. I have tutored adults, help them get their GED. Please DM me, reach out to me. I'm gonna put my email address in the caption. Like we gotta say.
All right, I think that's enough. She pretty much hit the nail on the head.
So, yo, shout out to Antoine Daniels, you know what I'm saying, for even posting that video. I to be honest with you, I think that's the first time I've seen it was from that, but I swore I seen that video somewhere else. But if I'm not mistaken, Antoine Daniels might have put me onto that. So shout out to Antoine Daniels, you know what I'm saying, for posting that video and bringing awareness to the situation. Now, let me go back to the comment section. He says, getting caught is part of the algorithm or the risk of illegal activity. Yeah. If you fuck around so many times, you're going to fuck around and find out. like King Von style or whatever type of situation. I mean, if you just do something so often, it's just gonna catch up to you. Ken Davis says, "I still love black women." Shit, me too. Hey, here's the thing: I love black women. Do I love how most black women are? No, that doesn't mean I don't love black women. I don't give them the opportunity. They just have to compete with white women and Asian women and all types of women. I just learned that here's the thing, and no lie, I've always dated interracially, even since high school. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I never stopped myself from talking to anyone, just because of their race. But and the reason why I had to do that is because if I didn't, I would have been motherfucker probably wouldn't even get no pussy. Like black girls only like to get give guys pussy when they get pussy. But black women, they're almost kind of like jobs. They don't want to give you no pussy unless you got experience. But it's like how you expect me to go get some pussy, or how you expect me to get experience if you don't give me no experience? Right? Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. Yeah, I know it's for real.
Emotional damage.
Ken Davis says black women make their sons dependent and their daughters independent. Simple. And that's a 100% fact. Because they want to keep the boy weak. They don't want him to become like his father. That's the thing about this black woman. And here's another too. And what I said is an honest truth, because check this out. If black women had no problem with their their sons growing up to be like their father, they would at least give these children their father's last name, which they are not.
What kind of shit is that?
You know how many half siblings done dealt with each other, or why? Because the half siblings, none of the baby mothers gave the daughter or the son their father's last name. I wonder why sometimes some people be slow in the hood sometimes. It's there's inadvertent incest going on in the hood, bro. Now, Dev Got Chronicles says, I remember this video. She was on point until the red pill comment she made. She must. Oh, you know what? You must have the full video. And you know what? I guess I could look up the full video. But here's the thing. There's a lot of things that I would disagree on with you or that Dev God Chronicles. I mean, I'm not saying that there wasn't a little bit of truth to. Here's the thing. Sometimes there could be a little bit of truth in people's statement. That's the problem. The problem is she's been talking about the community, what the community should do, what the community should do. The community can't do shit. Here's the thing. What the community needs to do is when someone does a crime, they need to start reporting it to the police. That's a start, right? None of this no snitching shit, because there's no snitching is between criminals. It's not between law-abiding citizens and the criminals. It is between criminals. That's what Snow's snitching policy has to do with. 1. 2. When these women of these boys decide that they no longer want to accept welfare, WIC, EBT, and Section 8 benefits and vouchers over a father in the household, guess what? The literacy rate will skyrocket for sure. But guess what? Women are not willing to make the sacrifice. It's kind of like even with this whole little tariff situation. Look, you know what I'm saying? It's not that I don't worry about the tariffs. It's not that I don't worry about the cost of food or the cost of certain things that's coming from the certain parts of the world, because that's what Americans are worried about, right? That's what a lot of people are worried about. But the truth is, Donald Trump does have a plan. I mean, let's just be real. There's no reason why Americans, we should be paying 4 times the worth for a Honda Civic when they're not willing to buy Cadillacs from Americans, and it goes on and on and on. The truth is, when they open up the books, they end up realizing the Democrats are selling out our country. And the truth is, that's what Donald Trump is selling out. That's why he said that. And his thing, and if I'm not mistaken, I forgot which country it is. I don't know if it's Mexico. No, I think it's Vietnam. I think Vietnam already made a deal and said, like, you know what? Like they're not even gonna put tariffs on us at all, just so we will no longer put their 43% tariffs on them. And guess what? That's the cost of doing business. The truth is that, the reason why Taiwan was able to even put tariffs on us in the first place is because guess what? Someone made some backdoor deal where this is all getting funneled to companies and stuff. There's just look, this is what would I say? Allegedly, okay? I don't know for sure. Allegedly. Shit crazy, man. Shit crazy. And it all comes back on full circle. When black women decide that they're no longer gonna keep their kids in bad neighborhoods where they feel that they have to look. Here's the thing. Let's just be real. Even me. Another thing I need to start, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm from LA, right? But don't y'all notice that I talk better than her? I'm even more articulate than her, and she probably has more education than me. She probably has a master's degree or some shit. I'm not saying that I'm not net educated either, but what my whole point is that, I got my goals. I'm smoking my, my cigar, you feel me? And I'm doing my thing. But guess what? Even I speak better than her. And she says that she tutors children. What do you tutor children, ma'am? What exactly do you tutor these children with?
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
Bruh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Because she really could. She was talking like a slave a little bit sometimes. Oh, I could teach me some children. You could teach me some children. Oh, I could teach me some children. Ma'am, that wasn't even a sentence. That wasn't even really hood talk. I could teach me some children. I could teach me some children.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
And the truth is, the main problem is it's not that she's not concerned. It's not that she's not concerned. The problem is we need to see his thing. We want to put a Band-Aid. You know what? Coach Greg got to mention this too. That, we want to put Band-Aids in a situation where in actuality, we got to repair the problem from the root cause. Just like Donald Trump. He said, fuck it, you know what? He said, you're getting tariffs, you're getting tariffs, you're getting tariffs, you're getting tariffs. Why? Because guess what? All these foreign countries have been basically graping and essentially just getting their way with Americans and Americans' pockets. Because think about it. Even before, dude, think about it. Who was in power for the last 40 years? And didn't everything kind of go up based off of them? No matter, everything went up. Why? Because guess what? We were essentially giving our asses to these motherfucking countries. Straight up. Now, JJD says, I love black women, but most of them are on the wrong path. They socially and mentally, spiritually. It shows we know people by their fruits. Facts. Ken Davis says, thank y'all for letting me share our story. That's what we do in the righteous sphere, bro. We speak our truth. I mean, not even our truth. We speak the truth. Not our truth. The truth. Ken Davis says, thank you for the encouragement, man. Hey, that's how we do, man. We build each other up over here in the righteous sphere. JJ Jesus says, you are welcome. We're on the same page from at Ken Davis. Then Davis says, y'all ever notice how the most educated black females cannot spell at all? Woo! Well, here's the thing, man. Like, there have been studies, and here's the thing. Look, it's not that black women are bad or anything like this. And I wouldn't even say all black women. Not all black women like this, but we got to understand that, there have been programs, all right? There's always trade-offs. To believe me, white women have their program as well, and because of black men too. That's a whole nother story in itself. But the truth is that, man, let's just say they did a real doozy on especially black Americans, when they allowed black women to get a one-up on their men, i.e. welfare and employing them in corporate jobs when black men were never able to get certain type of jobs like that, like being a corporate job. Like you had to be able to be on point to really get a corporate job. And now they don't want black people in these jobs, but guess who they accepted first? Black women, because guess what? They inherently knew, not because they're just black women, but guess what? Women in general, even white women rarely, I mean, unless they're in a unless they're in a marriage, are really going to give another man their money. Women tend to keep their money, especially black women. They bask in the pride of not only taking a man's money via child support, but making sure she don't give another man that money either. Man, these chicks are crazy, bro. These chicks are crazy. Now, I do want to play a video that counteracts everything that woman had to say. And I really think, brothers get to have a chance to, speak their piece and say what they got to say. I think that's very important. With that being said, what's that video that I wanted to show y'all? Oh, here it is. Check this out.
This is why black boys are failing in school and why black men are not going to college. You ready? Here we go.
Take a look at these 4 kids. These preschool teachers watched a video of them playing for a 2016 study. The study asked them to press the enter key every time they saw a behavior that could become a potential challenge. But the thing about the study is it's kind of deceptive. There's actually no misbehavior in the video. The kids are actors, and the researchers were using eye tracking software because what they really wanted to know was when teachers expect misbehavior, who are they watching? The study found that both white and black teachers spent more time gazing at black boys than other children. Black boys make up less than a quarter of the nation's preschoolers, but more than 40% of preschool suspensions. The study's lead researcher told the Washington Post that implicit biases don't begin with black men and police. They begin with black preschoolers and their teachers, if not earlier.
And there you have it. Everyone's dropping PhD level thesis think pieces on why black boys are not going to college when it's very, very simple. Black men, black boys exist in a system where everyone and everything is designed to make them fail. You saw that in the longer documentary. Someone sent this to me. Thank you very much, by the way. It's because of the video I posted. Thank you for the person who sent this. As you saw in the longer video, right? Which in the longer video, I remember seeing the longer one. The boy was penalized. The black boy was penalized. So imagine living in a system, existing in a system, in a society, in a classroom where your everything is when the boy is playing, doing the exact same thing that every other child is doing, he gets penalized for it. This is the real world. So by the time these young black boys get to middle school, school is not as fun as it is for everybody else, because for them, it is a place of antagonism. Once they get there, even without doing anything wrong, they are always wrong. By the time they get to high school, that's why a lot of black boys drop out of school, because the reason everyone's giving think pieces, no one wants to acknowledge this, is because we'll talk about psychology. If we acknowledge the psychology of the things done to the black boy that evolves into the black man, that means we get to excuse the black man for what he has become. And we cannot excuse the black man for what he has become. The black man has to be responsible for his own trauma. He has to be responsible for what he became. So we will never acknowledge what has happened, what happens to the kindergarten level black boy that makes him refuse to see school as something positive, because he has no positive experiences with it. And that is why black men are not enrolling in college. This is why black boys are
Yo.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Where's the lie? I want to know where the lie is. See, here's the thing. The truth is, what I learned, and I had to say even the hard way. I could use my life as an example. I have seen like friends of mine who, I can honestly say that, I have a couple of friends and maybe some family members who are maybe more successful in life. And when I say successful, I'm referring to, finances. I'm talking about money. Let's just be real. Let's call it a bug, okay? Now, a lot of those people that I do know who are very successful, I would say the only difference between me and those people is that most of those people had a support system. Even some people who didn't have as much of a support system and got it out the mud, even they even had a little bit more of a support system than I did. I'm not complaining. I'm not crying about it, because guess what? In life, you have to accept the chips that you have to accept the cards that are dealt, and take the chips that you're dealt, and handling your life accordingly. You feel me? Because there's a lot of people who started from nothing, right? With that being said, I must say, a lot of reasons why most black men fail, and it's easy to just be a gangbanger, because if you're living in the hood, right? Like, if you dress sensible and pull up your pants, you're gonna be teased, because unfortunately, everything that's in a black neighborhood, we all know everything everything in a white neighborhood is reversed in a black neighborhood. Like everything, look, if like everything that's bad is good, and what's good is bad. If you want to go in the house to go do homework, even though most people in the suburbs, they have to go and do the same thing, guess what? Something that's normal in the suburbs is not normal in the black neighborhood. You want to go home and study, guess what? People are teasing you because they say that you want to be white and shit like that. I live in Miami, and trust me, you know how many scallywag bitches done told me I sound white? Like, what? But guess what? Just because I don't talk, I don't talk like I'm, living down the river, now I gotta sound white. But the truth be told is that black men, even at a young age, I still remember, that shit. I just remember, if I don't know if y'all can relate, but I remember in junior high, grade school, and high school. Now that I'm looking back, now that I know better, most of those teachers were all white liberal women, man. And guess what? Some of them bitches used to fucking give us motherfucking trouble, bro. You feel me? And what's crazy is that we probably thought they was Republican at the time, but no, these bitches were leaptards, And I'm gonna just be real with you. See, people think liberals are actually the ones who are on black people's side. I would argue that liberals are just trying to keep black people in their place, keeping them the forever victim. But yeah, man. Like this whole, black men don't know how to read type of shit. I still think that even if that's the case, it ultimately goes back down to the parents. But it's not that black men can't read. It's just that black men don't want to pursue higher education, because who the fuck can't read some shit? Like, these kids learn how to read before they even get into school, just from playing these video games. That's why I refuse to believe that these kids fucking can't read. Ken Davis says, Cali, I was watching a guy on YouTube, and he said black folks need 1,000 year separation from white folks. What you think? Ken Davis, you want the show to go on for 3 hours? Huh? You want the show to go for 3 hours? You want the show to go for 3 hours? Do you really want the show to go for 3 hours? Hold on. Because now I got to find that damn video, because I have that video. I think I have that video. Is that the one where they'll talk about, well, you know what? No, I take that back. I don't think I have the video where he says 1,000 year separation, but I have something along those lines. Damn, you know what? I seen that on Coach Greg Adams. Damn. No, but what I do want to show you is that one video about how they'll talk about how black men are looked at in the community. And I've been itching to play that on this channel. Damn. But this is one video that I really want y'all to watch about. Damn. And you know what? He said, hell no, I got to work at 7 a.m. Facts. Oh, but guess what? There is one thing that I got to show is the main event. We talked about this one video for 2 hours. Let's go to the main event. Y'all probably seen this before, but we're about to play it again. Hey, sisters, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when the snow bunnies come for your man? Bruh. Yo, sisters, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when it comes for you? Yo. Jamaican lady about her paper. He said, fuck the dumb shit. She said, I'm about to have these girls twerking like you sisters. And you know what's so funny too? You'll think that black women would already be teaching these girls how to dance like this in America. But guess what? Something tell me that they're more scared of regular black women. That's why they had to go to a Caribbean woman to go do this. But look, you got a whole school teaching them how to slur work. Look, and why they actually in rhythm too. They in rhythm too. Yo, if we're gonna have girls who's twerking on the dance floor with blonde weaves and wigs like Beyonce, why not just have a girl twerking on you on a dance floor with real hair? Not that I don't like women with dreads. Not that I don't like women with their little afros and some of these little stylish little sport, finger waves and stuff like that. I do like a natural, sister. But if y'all gonna be rocking a weave, we might as well go to the source, right? Go to the source. Fuck it. Go to the source. Go to the source. Go to the source. Why not? Go to the source. There was something else I was going to show y'all with some snow bunnies. Yeah, the snow bunnies. They want the brothers. They want the bros. They want the bros. Oh, you know what? I think I'm finished up, y'all. It's 2 hours. Once again, y'all, it's Cali West. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling this shit. Cali West, I'm out of here. I'm gone.